let's react to the fucking AC Iron Man, alright? Oh yeah, no, wait, what the fuck is this? This is not it. This is an Iron Man statue, which is depicting the Buddhist deity Vaisravana, and it's made from first civilization material. Prior to World War II, the artifact was stolen from Tibet by Adolf Hitler's Schutzstaffel during their search for the origins of the Aryan race. Origins of the Aryan race? Hold on, what have we stumbled upon? Oh, no, that's the actual... Okay, I thought it was gonna be like an Assassin's Creed thing. So this is AC. Now, I've had a lot of people ask me about this, which, you know, is bound to happen with me being me. It's bound to happen. I also just, like, don't care as well, you know? Like, I've had so many people be like, oh my god, this is the final straw, I can't believe it. I'm like, well, I definitely can believe it. But also, like, I don't know, like, a lot of people have been like, what are your thoughts on this? What do you think? Like, why have they done this? Can you believe this? Like, I just, like, don't get Stormtrooper armor set, right? Oh, and the Thanos one, yeah, they have done a Thanos one, haven't they? With the Infinity Stones. Oh, blimey. Like I just don't care. It's like moving away. Like, I followed Assassin's Creed for so long after I was already, like, tired of it, because it was, like, a fun thing to do on streams. I can make videos on it. We had good times. The games weren't what was fun about it. It was the streams, it was the content, it was, you know, I got to make money off the back of it too. It was just fun. It was just fun doing that. But then I finally had an excuse to just completely stop altogether when the you know, the Ubisoft scandal happened, when we had the misconduct allegations, when all of that came out, and then when they continued to say they weren't doing anything about it, it was like, right, well, you know, as a person, I just don't want to follow this anymore, when it had been, like, such a big part of my life, you know? So it made it very easy to stop, and being so disconnected from it, when I see something like this, it really is just funny. It's just funny. Like, it's, you know? It's not... this isn't annoying. I'm not like, oh, this is so dumb. I'm like, this is just funny. Like, because I have no stakes in it anymore, you know? Like, this doesn't matter to me. You can do whatever you want. I think it's funny. Honestly, do more funny stuff, because it's funny. I just don't care. Like, it doesn't matter, because I know I'm never going to play these again, so what they do to them doesn't matter to me. So it's a bit difficult to, like, fake and give a take on it, when, like, I don't have a take. There is no take to give you. Other than, yep, looks silly. Does look silly, doesn't it? It does. And there's obviously, like, what people will say is like, well, you look at Brotherhood, they had the Raiden outfit. And, like, they did have the Raiden outfit. They did. And that was also bad. That wasn't good. I also thought it was dumb, because everything about Assassin's Creed was, like, diegetic in the, like, the HUD, the mission markers, the actual missions themselves, everything about the game, literally everything that you interacted with in the game, it was all something that Desmond was also interacting with. So when you throw in special outfits like the Raiden outfit, although not totally the most egregious thing in the world, it doesn't actually fit into Assassin's Creed, because, wait, so that's just in the Animus? Like, that's an Animus skin? Like, so that's canon, so Desmond can see that, or he can't? So what is canon, what's not canon? By making it so diegetic, it's like, you know, like, you sort of snooker yourself into having to play by the rules of your canon, and if you step outside of that, it actually becomes quite egregious. And so that's why when you have, you know, stuff like this, it's even more against the fundamentals that built up Assassin's Creed in the first place. Being a franchise that, one of the only game franchises in the world that was so diegetic with all of its content, where every single thing meant something, everything was important, everything was canon. When you do something like this, it starts to become video gamey, but you're still trying to have that diegetic feel with the Animus and the UI and everything. It starts to muddy the waters, and it became progressively worse over the course of Origins, Odyssey, Valhalla. This is what you're left with. And like I said, that's my, like, if you want to take, that's my take. On the other hand, also, I don't care, and it doesn't bother me, because I'm never going to play these again. But it is quite funny. It is Iron Man. It is a Stormtrooper, and it is the Infinity Gauntlet. It's terrific. Why does Iron Man have a hood? Well, because he's an assassin. You gotta, like, because how are people gonna defend you on Twitter if you don't include something, you know? Because Ubisoft could make it just Iron Man, or what they could do is they could make it Iron Man with a hood, so then people on Twitter will actually defend Ubisoft without them having to ever say a word, and actually market it for them by being like, well, actually, it's actually an Assassin's Creed thing because it's got a hood, so it means, you know, what more do you want? Like, first you want hoods and they give you a hood, and then you're like, oh, not like that though. Oh, you're so... I honestly don't find it being in the game annoying, but the tweets coming from it, like, people claim they're done with the game and don't care, but then they go and lose their shit about the Iron Man armor. Well, it's a process. It's a process, right? Like, it takes a while to be at the point where I'm at now. I think Tyler got there a lot quicker than I did. But you go through this thing of like, oh, I don't like this franchise anymore, but then it continues to bother you. So like, you spend a few years in the period of, oh, I hate these games, but I'm still going to complain about these games. And then you finally get to a point where you're so disconnected from it that you're like, this is just funny. Because I don't even keep up with Assassin's Creed. Like, Walshy said to me the other day when I commented on his video that it was good or whatever, he commented about this like festival in Valhalla. And I was like, I did not know they were doing another festival. I didn't know they were still doing post-launch content for Valhalla. Like, I thought the game was done. I didn't realize they were doing that. Is there another DLC coming out or something? I don't know. But when you're that disconnected, it just becomes really funny. And you like, it doesn't matter. Like, I can see that. And, like, I don't think, like, oh, wow, this is so annoying. And people want that from me. People, like, want me to be annoyed because, I don't know, I guess it's a bit of fun. It's cathartic. They're like, yeah, let's fucking dunk on Ubisoft. But I did it for so long, it's like, you know, I can't do it anymore. I just don't care anymore. I just don't care anymore. While she does post now, he's posted 3 videos in the past week. They're all really good. I didn't watch the whole of his discussion one because it's just not my type of content. It's more of like a discussion video than it is a like edited piece. But it's an interesting topic. But yeah, Valhalla is live service. They will end it when Infinity comes out. Infinity? It's Infinity. But I am 100% sure what they're going to do is they're going to launch Infinity. It'll be a live service. The first thing on there will be Rift, and that'll work as a way to get people that love AC, like AC, hardcore AC fans, on their live service. They want those people in the ecosystem, so then they can never, ever leave. Because once you get them in, it'll be a perpetual cycle of, oh, maybe the next update and expansion will be good. Oh, maybe the next expansion will be good. Maybe the next expansion will be for 8 years. And then either you leave and you stop and you do anything else, or you just continue doing that. You know, the people, I agree that Dawn of Ragnarok looks terrible. I agree that it's not Assassin's Creed. I agree that it's stupid. But the people that are like, oh my god, Ubisoft, really? It's like, dude, you knew this was going to happen. Surely you knew this was going to happen, right? Like, it's kind of wild that you're annoyed about this, you know? Just stop playing them. Literally just stop. Like, this is the best time ever to stop playing them. I was completely done. They wrote me back in with Valhalla because Darby was there, Jesper Kidd was there. You know, Ash was there at the beginning, and it was like, oh, I was trying to be AC. It was like, okay, this might be a good one. This might be a good one. I had Darby in my DMs. You know, I said this to Tyler the other day on the podcast. You know, the absolute audacity for Darby to be in my DMs, hyping up the game, and then to just release a shit game was like, you know, that's some big balls, isn't it, really, when you think about it? That is some big balls. Darby did finesse me. He really did. He made me believe. I'm just waiting for AC Risk, yeah? Like, it'll be my last AC for sure, and I'm doing it for the devs and Derby, really. Like, maybe a collector's edition is a bit too much, but I just want to support the devs. I just want to support the devs, guys. Come on. I just want to support the devs, that's all. The devs deserve it, you know? Like, if that's your opinion, just buy every game ever made ever, because you want to support all the devs, you know? Even if the game isn't good, like, you should buy it. Like, you know Sonic Forces? No, I don't care if you're not interested in Sonic. You better buy it because you got to support those devs. They made a video game, right? It doesn't matter whether you like it, whether it's good, or whether you're interested. You got to buy that game because some devs made it. So you got to do that. What's your opinion on Darby now? I think he's still a good bloke. I think he's a good bloke. I have no problems with Darby. I like to joke around about Valhalla being bad, but I still think he's a great guy. I still think he's a really good writer. James, they did their jobs, so we have to pay the company. It's true! They did their jobs, so we have to pay them. Not them, actually. We have to just give money and buy their product, and then have that money shared out among the upper management, and then the people who did their job will just get their normal wages anyway, and it won't change anything. It's like the weirdest thing. Supporting the devs is so weird. If it's an indie studio, yeah, you are supporting the devs by buying it. If it's Ubisoft, you're not, because every employee is getting paid whether that game sells copies or not. You're not supporting the devs, you're supporting Yves Guillemot and his mates at the top. That's what you're doing. You're supporting the shareholders. Like, you're not supporting the devs if you buy Assassin's Creed Valhalla. They will get paid. It's so stupid. It's such a weird view to have. Especially if you think the game looks bad. Like, that's so weird. It's such a weird take of like, no, I think the game looks bad and I don't like it, but like, I want to support the devs. It's like, what? What are you talking about? Just don't play things you don't want to play. Like, even outside of just like the employee treatment, like even outside of the harassment, the abuse, the manipulation, all of that shit, even outside of all of that, their business practices are scummy as hell. Like what they do with their microtransactions, God, it's so bad. Imagine if the devs didn't get paid if the game didn't sell enough. That's fucking wild. What kind of third world country must you work in if they tell you, nah, mate, people thought your game was bad, so I ain't giving you the money you worked for? Yeah, exactly. Like, like I've said this before, and I've told the story before, but I would have stopped it after AC3 if it wasn't for YouTube. Like, if Defy hadn't blown up, if I hadn't made, like, news videos on AZ4 and it hadn't done well and people hadn't been hyped about it, then I probably wouldn't have played Black Flag on release. I just didn't like Assassin's Creed anymore. And then it was the content creation side that spurred all of that, and I realized, like, why I loved Assassin's Creed originally. I was like, you know what, yeah, maybe it will be good. Maybe it will. It ended up being great. I mean, no, Black Flag's bad. And then I moved on and did Unity content, and I was fueled by the content creation, not really my love of Assassin's Creed. It was like I remembered what I used to love and like kept that with me as I was going, and sort of used that as a fuel of like, well, you know, I used to love these games and the content creation's so fun, but once the content creation side burns out, you stop, you know, you're like, you know, you realize there's nothing keeping you going anymore. And you're like, well, now it's time to move on and do something else.